All praises to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS to rule well. Shalom to the hopefully elect. Now, I just want to drop this real quick. It says, caution has officially been raised as 23 people die in Norway within days of receiving their first dose of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine. 13 of those deaths, which were all nursing home patients, at least 80-year-olds, were related to the side effects from the shots. Chief physician at the Norwegian Medicines Agency, Sigurd Hortimo, says common reactions to the vaccine include fever and nausea and may have contributed to a fatal outcome in some frail patients. Now, may isn't definitive. May just means possibility. So, this man never really owns up to anything that goes wrong. Furthermore, the news of fatalities arrived just over a week after officials confirmed the death of 2 nursing home residents after they too received their first Pfizer shots. Currently, over 30,000 people in Norway have received a dose of either the Pfizer or the Moderna coronavirus vaccine since last month. And one of the elders was talking about how, should say one of the big brothers, said mode, as in Moderna, is just, Edom, EDOM, just backwards, and then RNA, and this vaccine is meant to affect your RNA, so Edom RNA. Who knows? But we all know Edom, likes to play his little word games, and this just struck me. This guy,
big backlash against your appearance in the video. These critics saying that it glorifies obesity, that your weight is unhealthy, and that by appearing in the video you're encouraging people to be overweight. And then once this critic had spoken out, a big backlash against the criticism by people saying, no, this is about accepting all sorts of different shapes and sizes, which is the camp that I'm in.
No. You may wonder why I showed that. It's just to really show the hypocrisy of E, because E talks about accepting all people, when he acts like he's for order, whereas you can't say everything is the same and then pretend you're for order. So this is the whole mindset that E is in. He likes to say one thing and do something completely different. And what does this, I think, hang on, not this one, this is Matthew 7:5. Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam of thine own eye, then thou shalt see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye. And mote definition, just quickly, is a tiny piece of substance, a speck, just dust in your eye. So before you tell somebody to do something, you're really supposed to not be in that same spirit. And that there's another scripture that speaks on that. It says judge righteous judgment. You're not supposed to be partaking in the behaviors that you're condemning. And in this society, because this is a very hypocritical society, you have a lot of people talking about things that that they have no real business talking about, and it goes into Exodus 23:2. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wreak judgment. So because these people reflect the higher ups, and it says the people, and I'm paraphrasing the scripture, the people in the society reflect the people who are in charge of the society, so they follow after the people who rule these societies. So if these people who rule these societies are hypocrites, it's going to be reflective in the people that are in that society. And the society is run by hypocrites, because these people will say one thing and do another. The Queen is always talking about how all people should be respected and all of this stuff, and how everybody is equal, but she's allowed to do things that other people are not allowed to do. She talks about how it's wrong to steal, but she's a thief. So this whole society is just completely backward, and these people will follow a multitude to do evil, because at the end of the day, Jake is in that whole mindset of let's follow E, let's take this vaccine, let's wear the mask. And Jake will then turn around and talk about how these people are evil. So they're evil, but yet you follow in their ways. That doesn't make any sense, and that's why it says James 1:8, a double-minded man, is unstable in all his ways. And this is to do with women as well. You're double-minded if you're going to condemn E, in one sense, and then you want to listen to him when he's telling you to take his vaccines and to take his medication. You're going to be unstable, and you're going to reap the rewards of that, be it good or bad. You know what I mean? In this society, it seems good, but we know the society is backwards, because this man has put, good for evil, and bitter for sweet. So everything that you think is sweet is really bitter. This vaccine is going to turn really bitter for people. That's why another brother, I think it was GMS Enduring Branch, was talking about how somebody died 15 days after taking the vaccine, or the vaccine. So this just shows you that these people will follow these people and say something completely different. And Jake really is in that mindset, because at the end of the day, people don't want to follow righteousness. They always want an excuse to kind of double back. So if somebody's in shape and they're telling you to eat good and to do good, most people are not going to listen to that, because they're going to be like, oh, well, who is he? He's in shape. He doesn't know what it's like to be fat. So you want somebody who's fat telling you not to, to be overweight. But then when you have somebody like that, it kind of gives you the excuse to be overweight, because you're looking at them like, well, they're fat and they're telling me to lose weight. They're hypocrites, so therefore I can do whatever I want to do, because this society always wants, the people in this society always want a reason to be completely contrary to the scriptures. They don't like order, which is why they're always talking about we're all one. You talk about how, because a lot of this whole society talks about natural this, natural that, and how organic this and organic that, but then you're using science to genetically engineer and modify things. So this place is just completely backwards. This is why it also talks about how if Satan is a what's that scripture? Let me get it quick. A house divided cannot stand, I believe it is. And Yahweh knew their thoughts, and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. This is Matthew 12:25. And if Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And if I by Beelzebub cast out devils, by whom do your children cast them out? Therefore they shall be your judges. But if I cast out devils by the Spirit of Yahweh, then the kingdom of Yahweh is come unto you. Because he was casting out, spirits, and these people are like, you're casting out spirits through Beelzebub. And he's like, well, how can I cast out spirits by Beelzebub? Because I'd be doing something against those spirits. If I'm in that same house, it doesn't make any sense. So it just shows you that these, 2/3 are basically bugged out, man. Because they don't understand that everything is supposed to be done decently and in order. And you're not supposed to be a hypocrite, because the Lord actually hates hypocrites. What does it say? Psalms 51:17. The sacrifices of Yahweh are broken spirit, are broken in a contrite heart. O Yahweh, thou wilt not despise. So you're not really supposed to be in the spirit of, loving this kingdom. You're supposed to be in a contrite spirit. And when you're in a contrite spirit, you're in a humble spirit. And Jake is not humble right now, because Jake is very prideful. When you listen to the rap, he's always talking about balling out, and they always exalt themselves. And why are you exalting yourself in a society that's literally engineered for your destruction? That just shows that Jake is double-minded, because you always complaining about how these people are oppressing you, but then you want to exalt yourself in that society. And then when something bad happens to you, then you want to act like a victim, kind of like that Jacob Blake guy, who he exalted himself. He said he picked up his knife, he was gonna put it in a car, and you're supposed to, you're basically supposed to follow your oppressors, lest you take thee to the judge, in front of the judge. He was just supposed to listen to what he said. If the cops pull out on you, you put your hands in front of the dashboard, or on the wheel. 10-2, they tell you to touch your nose to see whether or not you're drunk or not. You're supposed to listen to this man, because what? Otherwise, he's gonna shoot you in the back, and then you're gonna try and sue them, and they're gonna be like, you're not getting any money, because at the end of the day, you're Jake. You can't do whatever you want. That's what them white boys do and get away with it. They don't follow orders. They'll fight cops, and then they get arrested peacefully, and then they get let out. See, Jake thinks he has rights in this society. And Jake thinks he has rights in this society because he's double-minded. He thinks he's going to exalt himself in a society built to denigrate and to keep you on the bottom. And that's just complete hypocrisy. It's not going to work. Ezekiel 9:4. And the Lord Yahweh said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And Job was vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked, so he was in a contrite spirit. And anyone who's in this truth, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I'll be watching the news and I'll be laughing, just watching these people fall out. But all in all, I know this isn't life. So I'm really crying unto the Lord, hoping that the Lord ends this. But at the same time, I'm kind of enjoying watching the fall of Edom, and that's not a contradiction, because the Lord is balance, so yeah, sometimes you're happy and sometimes you're sad, but it's all supposed to be done decently in order, because I'm happy at the fall of Edom, but still at the same time I'm sad because I'm basically oppressed. I can't do what I want to do. You have to go to work, and there's people that you're smarter than, and they're over you, they're managers over you, and they tell you what to do, even though they're completely reprobate in what they do. And Jake doesn't understand this. He seems to think, he's going to exalt himself, and he has been exalted, and he thinks, all these blessings that he's getting is from Yahweh. A lot of the times when you're doing well in this kingdom, it's not from the Most High. It's because you've done things that you're not supposed to do. Because when you do what you're supposed to do in the society, you're not exalted, because this society is a reprobate, society. And in that sense, it's kind of true to itself, because the only way to be successful in this society is really to stab people in the back, to lie, to be dishonest, and to play the game. And a lot of playing the game is seeing things that are wrong and not saying anything about it. You might be in a situation where you see your boss doing something, and it's immoral or illegal or wrong, and you can't say anything about it because you want him to elevate you in a position that you're in. That's the kind of society that you live in. It's hypocritical, and I just it doesn't make any sense how Jake wants to be exalted in the society, because at the end of the day, if you exalt yourself, you're basically gonna sell yourself out. You're gonna sell yourself short. You're gonna be morally bankrupt. And then when it does happen, and you do that, when the law comes back, you're gonna be crying onto Yahweh Shai, talking about how you did things in his name, and he's gonna say, get away from me, you workers of iniquity, which is what a lot of people are gonna be in. They're gonna do all of this stuff. They're gonna lie to people. They're gonna cheat people, and then when all of this comes to a head, they're gonna be screaming, Yahweh Shai, Jesus, we cast out devils in your name. You're a complete hypocrite. You're a reprobate, and the Lord's not dealing with that, man. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to bring out. With this whole corona thing, everywhere seems to be going mad. There was some news about the 2/3 niggers in Belgium who were burning down a police station, and those same people that burn down the police station, and the next day they're gonna go into work. So you hate these people, and you want the society to burn down, and you're doing all this stuff, and at the same time you want to get along with them. It doesn't make any sense, because Jake is always talking about how they're not all like that. Some of them are good. We should learn to work. We're all one. And at the same time, when they do something wrong, you want to complain about it. So 2/3 of these, they're just completely double-minded, and they don't know righteousness. They don't know what's right and what's wrong. They just do whatever feels right to them at the time. And you're not supposed to go after your own judgment. You're supposed to seek the judgment of the Most High, because the Most High doesn't contradict himself, and the Most High is not a hypocrite. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who rule well. Shalom up to the hopeful elect.